Have you ever been on the receiving end of silence? You know, that agonizing quiet that somehow feels louder than any argument ever could. It's one of the most painful and confusing things we go through, and it almost always sends our mind spiraling, thinking we're the ones to blame. But the real psychology behind why people go silent, well, it's way more complex, and it often has a lot less to do with you than you think. Let's get into it.
I mean, it's a feeling we all know, right? You reach out to someone you care about, you pour a little bit of your heart out, and what you get back is just a void. Nothing. And your stomach just drops. You start replaying every single recent conversation, you're scanning for a mistake, completely convinced you must have said or done something to push them away. That inner voice of self-blame can be absolutely relentless.
But here's the big question, the one we need to stop and ask. What if that story, the one where you're automatically the bad guy, isn't the whole truth? What if their silence is actually a mirror reflecting their internal world and not some judgment on your worth? Let's really explore that.
So, first things first, let's talk about the why. Why does being ignored feel so uniquely awful? The answer isn't just, oh, it hurts my feelings. No, it's way deeper. It's actually hardwired right into our biology.
Psychologists, of course, have a specific term for this. It's called ostracism. And this definition is so important because it reframes being ignored not as just a passive thing, like an absence of communication, but as a deliberate act. It's a tool, and it's used to punish, to manipulate, or to assert control by basically weaponizing social isolation.
And this right here is why it hurts so much. And I want to be clear, this is not a metaphor. Neuroscientific research actually confirms that the pain of being socially rejected is processed by the brain in the exact same way it processes a physical injury. That ache you feel in your chest, it's real. It's an ancient survival mechanism. I mean, think about it. Our ancestors depended on being in the tribe to survive. Being cast out was literally a death sentence. Your brain is still running on that old software, treating social rejection like a life or death event.
Let's geek out for just a second on what's actually happening in your body. When you get ignored, a part of your brain called the DACC basically sends out an alert for a social injury. Then the anterior insula kicks in to process that emotional sting of rejection. And at the same time, your nervous system floods with stress hormones, kicking you into fight or flight. This isn't just in your head. It's a full-body, physiological event.
All right, now that we've totally validated that pain you feel, let's get to the most important reframe of this whole thing. This is where we flip the script. We're going to stop focusing on you and start focusing on them.
This is it. This is the single most important takeaway. I mean, read it again. Their silence is not a report card on your value as a human being. It's a blueprint of their own emotional maturity, their communication skills, their personal baggage, and sometimes even just the way their brain is wired. It's about them.
And this chart illustrates a really critical distinction we have to make. See, not all silence is created equal. The silent treatment is a weapon. Its whole purpose is to control someone else. But protective no contact, that's a shield. Its goal is self-preservation, creating the safety you need to heal from a toxic situation. The intent behind them is worlds apart.
Okay, so if their silence really is about them, then who are they? Let's break this down into 3 distinct profiles. This framework is going to help you really understand the why behind what they're doing.
First up, let's just get the most toxic one out of the way, the manipulator. This is the person who uses silence as a strategic tool for emotional control.
The key word here is intent. For the manipulator, silence is a calculated move. It's designed to make you anxious, to make you chase them, to force an apology out of you. It's a power play, plain and simple. They're using your very human need for connection against you, all to reestablish their own dominance and dodge any kind of accountability.
Next up, let's look at type number 2, the overwhelmed avoider. Now, for this person, the silence doesn't come from a place of malice, but from a complete inability to cope with conflict. For the avoider, silence is a defense mechanism. When a tough conversation comes up, their nervous system gets so overloaded. Psychologists call this emotional flooding. It's like their brain's circuit breaker just trips. They literally shut down. They might have learned this growing up, where silence was the only way to deal with tension. So even though their goal isn't to punish you, the impact feels pretty much the same. Their avoidance leaves you feeling abandoned and totally confused.
And finally, our third type. This one is so critical to understand because it moves beyond just psychology and gets into pure neurobiology. The truth is, sometimes being ignored is completely and totally unintentional.
This is so important. For someone with ADHD, an unread text isn't a personal attack, it's a symptom of a brain that has a hard time juggling multiple things. It's literally out of sight, out of mind. For an autistic person, silence might be a physiological shutdown, a complete inability to communicate because of overwhelming sensory or emotional input. In these cases, the silence has absolutely nothing to do with you or how they feel about you. It's just a feature of their brain's operating system.
Okay, so we have all this knowledge now, but what do we actually do with it? Let's walk through a clear, 4-step plan you can use to reclaim your power whenever you're being ignored.
This is your toolkit. Step 1. Calm your body's threat response. Take a breath. Don't react from that place of panic. Step 2. Consciously reframe the story in your head, using the knowledge we just talked about. 3. Communicate your needs clearly and calmly by setting a boundary. And 4, and this is the most important one, turn your focus inward. Validate your own feelings and pour energy into your own well-being.
So, what does this all really boil down to? When you get right to it, it comes down to a fundamental choice.
This right here is the standard for a healthy connection. Look, it's not about never needing space. We all need space sometimes. It's about communicating that need with respect. Healthy relationships require repair, not just retreat. You deserve someone who will work through the tough stuff with you, not just vanish and leave you questioning your own worth.
And that's really the ultimate question, isn't it? Understanding the psychology of their silence is powerful, for sure, but the real transformation, that happens when you use that knowledge to stop obsessing over their quiet and start tuning into your own voice, the one that knows what you need, what you deserve, and when it's time to choose yourself.